Good morning, everyone. This is Steve Hoffaker. Welcome to another one of our regular webinar sessions. Today, Margie McNally, a frequent presenter. We're happy to welcome her back. Today's program, Independent Lifestyle Design. She's going to discuss a number of issues of concern to CAPS professionals. Just as an aside, I want to let you know, too, you can check the website. The ADU course that I've been talking to you about over the last many weeks is now ready to go. It's on the schedule. You can sign up for it. I think the first class is July 30th. You can look at that and a couple other classes I'm working on. And then we have another webinar in about a month. I think that's July 16th. So you can look for that as well. So without any more delay, we'll turn this over to Margie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me here again. I always enjoy these interactions with folks out there. My name is Margie McNally, and I'm the owner of Interior Elements Design. I'm a licensed interior designer, NCIDQ, a lead accredited professional, and a certified aging in place specialist. I work on improving the lives of others by design, creating safe, healthy, and accessible spaces as people age. And as they age, they are more at risk for falling and their vision declines. The average home is not designed for the aging progression process. According to the AARP, by the year 2030, 1 in 5 people in the US will be age 65 or over, something like 70 million people. According to the National Council on Aging, every 2 seconds, an older adult is seen at the emergency room for fall-related injuries. A person at age 60 requires 3 times the amount of light that a 20-year-old does. So 3 times as much light, and more so as we age. So I started off doing this. Interior design was my background always, sustainable interior design. Learned a lot about lighting in the 90s. And then during COVID, back in 2020, I was able to sit with Steve and get my 3-day course accomplished and get my CAP certification. And that was partly due to my own aging mom, who is now 96 in an assisted living facility. She's doing well, but her home that she came from was not designed for aging in place. So that's where I kind of started off with all of this purpose, vision. Oh, let me see, it's not advancing. Let me see. Oh, there we go. So you've all heard of universal design principles. And these include these 7 basic principles of universal design. What is universal design? It's really designing for everyone, whether they're...
I sent you an email yesterday, but I'll send you.
Oh, Steve, you're not on mute. They really talk about people of all ages, of all different capacities for design. So equitable use would be designing for all ages. Even a mom who just had a baby, she needs a different kind of accessibility than, say, someone who is in their 80s or 90s. Flexibility, making sure that what the designs that we have are flexible, simple or intuitive, perceptible, being able to see. This is often called wayfinding, signage that directs people to where they're going. Tolerance for error. This would be something, if somebody cannot operate something properly, that there's not a bad outcome. And low physical effort. Shouldn't have to be difficult to figure something out on accessibility and usability. And size and space for approach. So that means a certain amount of space, like 30 by 48 inches, to approach say a doorway or a cabinet. These are all the principles of universal design, which I think is so important going forward with any kind of new construction or renovation. So, a 2010 AARP survey of adults over the age of 65 found that almost 90% of them wish to remain in their homes for as long as they can, that is, and 80% anticipated doing so. Let's explore room by room what can be done to help with this trend. We'll start with the kitchen. Mom's story. My mom had like some lower shelves in her kitchen that she couldn't easily access at the age of 90, 91 when she first moved to her 55 plus community. And one day she was leaning down to get something in the back and she lost her balance and fell backwards and broke a pelvis. So that told me that there was something wrong with the design of this kitchen, that she couldn't easily access what she needed to. So some of the strategies for kitchen solutions would be
like, we're still in reverse. I'm like, oh shit.
Roxanne.
Got it. You're fine.
Okay. So roll out shelves so that they can pull out to you as you need it. Open shelving, cabinetry that allows the user to work in a seated position, D-shaped handles, which I'll show you in a few minutes, or lever style handles, which you've seen a lot on doorways when we go into a public facility. A countertop microwave. My mom had her microwave over her stove, which made it very difficult where she was not even 5 feet tall to get something hot out of the microwave over her head. Double door fridges and dishwashers, non-glare surfaces. Task lighting is key for kitchens, under cabinet lighting to illuminate what we're working on the counter, especially when chopping vegetables. Contrasting colors to promote good perception of edges and boundaries. And again, clear floor space of at least 30 by 48 inches in front of appliances, fixtures, and cabinetry. Drawers for dishes. This is a peg system from Revishelf, and this enables you to grab like a stack of plates without having to lift them from over your shoulder. Shelving should be within 28 to 48 inches of reach. And again, this drawer is great for eliminating those heavy dish problems. So there's my mom on the left, honestly, that's mom. And you have to ask yourself, are things out of reach? Do you need something like this to be able to access? There's the microwave over the stove, which was totally impractical. You can see that she has one on the counter. And if you do have to climb, at least have something that has handles. Now the stool on the right is more functional and safer, but it's still not a great idea to have older people climbing on stools. But this one was stable and had some hand grips. Again, Revishelf, these are kitchen pull-down racks that bring the items right to you. These can be an expensive option, and the hardware does take up a good amount of cabinet space, but they really work well because you can just grab that bottom handle and pull that those contents right down to eye level. And then there are the D-shaped handles, the cup, they call it cup-shaped or D-shaped handles. Easy access handles so that you can avoid gripping. ADA, they do make ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, they do make ADA compliant handles for cabinets. And these basically have a wider span and more space between the cabinet and the handle for the allowance of your fingers, basically. Under cabinet lighting is very, as I mentioned, is very key in the kitchen. LED has come a long way since the fluorescent strips that we used to use back in the 80s and 90s. There's all types of LED lighting that you can purchase. This is actually a hardwired system, so the switches are on the wall and there's no visible wires into plugs, which is ideal. But they also have, right now, there's a lot of LED strips that are motion censored, USB chargeable, plug and play. There's a lot of options out there if you don't have the means to having an electrician professionally install under cabinet lighting. And then we can get into all kinds of discussion on lumens and color temperature of lighting. It's really important to select the right color temperature. LED lighting can be very blue if you get a color temperature of over 4,000 or 5,000 Kelvin, but that's another course. Bathroom safety. So basically, grab bars are key to keeping someone safe in the bathroom. You want to make sure that it's installed properly with blocking. So there's got to be a good stud behind that wall. Don't ever use the plunger type grab bars. Those are not effective and they're not safe. The grab bar should support 250 to 300 pounds. They're very easy to install and economical. According to the National Council on Aging, more than 1/4 of Americans age 65 plus falls each year. People with mild hearing loss are more likely to fall. And grab bars are easy to install and an affordable solution to that problem as far as getting in and out of the tub. And it's not just for someone who's aging in place. This is something for everyone. Children could actually use this grab bar to avoid slipping and falling. Again, grab bars in bathrooms, vertical and horizontal. You want to have a handheld shower and seating if you can in the bathroom. This one actually tends to be not the safest because it's safe. It comes from a healthcare supply company, but it's not a built-in seat. But you do need some kind of a place for people to sit in the shower as they age. And then you want to use rubber-backed bath mats instead of the cotton mats that may slip. Also, if you're putting in ceramic tile in a bathroom, you want to have a good slip resistance, and there's a rating called the dynamic coefficient of friction, DCOF, that you want to look for to make sure that it's got a little bit of a texture to it so that it's not slippery like a marble tiled floor. This would be comfort height toilets that you will see for senior living, just a different height on the toilet so it's easier to get up from. Also, they make toilet paper holder grab bars now, which are very stylish. Some of them can be very pretty. Bidets are popular, gaining in popularity. This is really good for personal hygiene and sometimes recommended for health issues. It reduces the paper usage, if you think about it, pretty easily to be installed, all different price ranges for bidets. On your bathroom vanity, it should be at 36 inches height so that you have less bending. And any electrical outlets in the bathroom near water should be equipped with ground fault circuit interrupter mechanisms. So GFCI is what they would call them. And the electrician will know all about that. So keep things within reach. This was actually a hotel that I stayed at. We had to take a picture of this because it was pretty funny that they had mounted the toilet paper holder so far away. But definitely you want things within reach. And again, bathroom safety on tubs. So senior communities don't typically put in bathtubs. even 55 plus, or getting away from bathtubs. Some people like bathtubs. My mom was big on bathtubs, and sometimes she'll come and stay with me, and she can still actually get in and out of the tub with my help and the grab bar. So I like to provide that for her. But for the most part, if you do have a home with a bathtub or a client, patient with a bathtub, you can take that out and put in like a curbless shower with this collapsible wall dam. So that keeps the water from getting onto the floor. You can also do what's a little bit more affordable is a tub cut, where they actually take your bathtub and cut like a U shape into it so that you can step into it and no longer use it as a soaking tub. And then we have the Italian line of fixtures and grab bars, Ponte Giulio. Just a little bit of style that you can add to your bathroom. And also this wall-mounted sink, which allows clearance for a wheelchair. And it's very pretty too. Bathroom lighting and ventilation. So we want to focus on the concept of layers of light in any room in your house, but specifically in the bathroom, we talk about layers of light where you have general ambient light that can come from just some kind of overhead lighting fixture, or it might be the fan that has a light on it. Then you want to light your mirror for makeup application and shaving. And the best way to do that is to put lights that flank the mirror about eye level and no more than 36 inches apart. This will help to illuminate the face. If you don't have room for those fixtures the side of each mirror, on each side of the mirror, you can put a fixture above the mirror. That's the next thing you want to do, but not a recessed downlight over the sink. Not the best way to light a mirror. It's just throws shadow on the face. And then most important is a ventilation fan to prevent moisture and mold in the bathroom, and make sure that it's vented to the outside and not the attic. You want that moist air to be extracted from the house and not going into the attic insulation. Moving on to hallways, minimum 36-inch width hallway, 42 inches is even better. Well lit. This is track lighting that can be adjusted for, say, artwork on that wall, or to light the stairway for someone coming down or going up. Light switches at 48 inches above the finished floor, and outlets at 24 inches above the finished floor. This night light on the left is a outlet. You can get all of these things on like Amazon. There's a electrical outlet cover that you can change out that will have an LED light at the bottom of it, and it'll illuminate when the hallway is dark. So it's not throwing a lot of light, but it's giving you some idea as to where the edges of the wall are. And then in your living room, space planning is key. You want to kind of get rid of some of the clutter, not have too many things on the floor for you to trip on. Ease of access is what you're aiming for, like a clear 3-foot travel path, and hopefully a 5-foot turning radius if you were in a wheelchair that you needed to turn around. You want to, if you have any area rugs, you want to secure them with tape to avoid any tripping hazard. And the pile height should be less than 1/2 inch. You can use carpeting, but not so much of a heavy pile carpet, something with a very low pile. Eliminating clutter, as what I mentioned before, is important to not have things that you would be tripping on. And furniture, well, we're going to get into that in a minute. This is the flooring that you'd want, a non-slip type flooring, something that has that coefficient of friction. This happens to be luxury vinyl plank, which is very popular today, and it has like a little bit of a tooth to it so that it's less slippery than, say, ceramic tile. Carpet, again, low pile, as much as possible, less than half an inch. Easy to clean. Maintenance is key. You want to make sure that your material choices and your finish selections are easy to maintain. Carpet can be vacuumed, but it also can be dusty and harbor dust mites. People that have asthma or allergies are more prone to symptoms with wall-to-wall carpeting in their homes. Again, area rugs that are secured to the floor, at least on the corners, so that it's not a tripping hazard. And then living room furniture, low, shallow seats. So you want to have furniture that's not so deep that the person kind of falls into it and can't get up. Again, layers of light. Touch lamps are coming back in popularity. They are really convenient as far as someone not having to grip a switch to turn it on. And then this coffee table, I have a little video after this of how it operates, but it was a great addition to Mom's home because she often would eat by herself watching TV, and this was a great way for her to just put her meal in the living room and then bring the table height up to her chest level. TV viewing, there's a little recommended viewing distance for TV. It's basically double the distance of the size of the screen. So if you have a 5-foot screen, you should be about 10 feet away. Let's see if this works. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, just a great little invention that she really enjoyed when she lived in her cottage. So moving on to the bedroom. Occupancy sensors. This is something that is very accessible on Amazon. It's Maza, it's called. I have it somewhere around here. It's just a night light, but it's got a motion occupancy sensor. So if you were to get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, just get you to the bathroom and back, and then it goes off. Because if we turn on lights in the middle of the night, it can wake us up and disrupt our circadian rhythm. And sometimes it's hard to go back to sleep once we've got that bright light in our eyes. And then clutter-free solutions. Making sure that we have a place for everything and everything in its place. Incorporate systems and eliminate clutter on surfaces so that you don't have as much dust and maintenance to deal with. And remember the SPACE acronym. So this is sort, purge, assign a home, containerize, and equalize. So basically, if you keep this acronym in mind, you first want to, if you're cleaning out a closet or a room, it can be very overwhelming, especially when you have a lot of things that you've saved over the years. And a lot of people are downsizing now, so they have a lot to go through. But first of all, you just want to sort all of the like items, put all the same items together. Then you want to purge them to see what you need and what you don't need anymore. Assign a home, donate them. Charities will take things. If you have fabric, there are bins that will take fabric, clothing. Then for the things that you're keeping, you want to containerize, hopefully things that you can see what's inside of it, or at least label it. And then equalize is pretty much keeping things in order going forward, making habits to put things away back in their space when you're done using them. Not easy to do. Closet access. Here's another rubbish shelf item that if you have someone that can't reach up high for those higher hanging racks that this one actually pulls down to your level. Oh, and also in the bedroom, laundry, front-loading laundry equipment is better because it's more accessible. Front loaders. And how about motorized shades? This is a luxury item for sure, but you can have them on timers. It would be really nice to have something that you can close the shades and blinds when you want to, or have them on a timer during different seasons. But it's a little bit of a luxury item. I'm not there yet. I still have my pleated shades that I lift up and down every day. And then your garage, moving out into the garage area, definitely want adequate lighting out there, especially if you have a hobby area. You're working with tools and things of that nature, hobbies, gardening. So some nice LED utilitarian type lighting is a great solution. Make sure you light those stairs. And then exterior lighting for the building, you don't want it to be so bright that it blinds you as you're coming up the walkway. So this direct, indirect kind of a canister light is just a beautifully soft way to illuminate a space. Just gives you enough light to get up the pathway without, having it shine right in your eyes. It's good to have motion lights too, though, that like would come on if an intruder were to come. So maybe like a floodlight with a motion sensor. And then photo is two things, sensors that come on and show activity. Some the light goes on. And then there's also photo sensor technology, which is called a dusk to dawn. So the light comes on at night when the sun goes down. And then in the morning, it will go off once the daylight hits it. So the lights are always on, which I think is a great security feature. LED doesn't take up a lot of energy, so doesn't use a lot of energy. So I think it's fine. I think it's a good security measure, and you never have to flip the light on and off, or forget that you forget to turn the lights off as you leave the house in the morning. It's just a great invention. And then some of the entrance features. So this is from the AARP Home Fit Guide. And I have that holding up right here on the camera. This is available through AARP, but I think you can only get it online now. This is a room by room guide of how to make your home more accessible and safe. So some of the features that you'd want for your entrance is like an overhang to protect you from elements. Like if it's raining, you want something that's going to cover you when you're coming in. Lighting both sides of the door, a 32-inch minimum clearance width-wise and 80-inch height-wise. Curbless entries are gaining in popularity. I know in Florida, I don't know if you know this, Steve, but in Florida, there are a lot of building going on with curbless entries, like zero step, they call it, zero step curbless construction, so that if there was a wheelchair that had to access, there would be no step to have to get up. Peepholes or some kind of a ring system like the Ring doorbell. Lever style door handles, as you can see here, with a separate lock. And how about a large number on our house so that it's visible to any kind of emergency vehicles? A lot of times people can't find a home because the number is either missing or it's too small. So make sure it's large and well lit. A heavy duty doormat to remove the pollutants and make sure that it's not too high so that it's not a tripping hazard. And then also utilizing some kind of a sitting area or something to just rest packages on as you're coming in the door, so that you're not trying to hold it and unlock the door at the same time. Really simple solutions that we just don't often think about. And then railings for entrance safety. You want to have at least one railing on your stairs, just for accessibility and egress. So these are some of the questions that when I do this workshop for, say, a senior community, I would ask them things like what they feel like in their home. Do they feel safe? Is there something that they want to change about it? What do they like to do most of the time? Cooking, reading, relaxing, entertaining. Is it designed for safety when they have people over as well? And I say to them, if you could wave a magic wand, what changes would you make to your current home? So that's what we want to do, is we want to be able to let people stay in their homes longer and enjoy their homes longer, but we want them to be safe and accessible so that they don't have to move, basically. Sometimes people will have to move, but not always. And then I tell them to remember to enjoy life always. That's the bottom line here, is to enjoy your life and not get too caught up in the stress of getting older. Stay safe. And there's my information. If anyone is interested in contacting me, I have some time for questions too, if anyone has any specific questions.
Margie, there is one question in the box there. Lisa wants to know about a slippery floor tile with a low COF, a treatment you might apply to that.
If someone has a slip tile. I'm not sure if there's actually something you could put over a tile to make it less slippery. There could be. It might not be safe to use as far as off-gassing. It might be like an epoxy or something like that.
Okay, there are some appliques, some materials you can put down. There's some paint, but as you say, that could present an issue.
Yeah, something that might be like a strip or something to make it have it a little bit, would be safer than something that would be wet applied. Yeah.
What non-glare surfaces do you recommend, especially for countertops?
Sure. So granite can be very glossy. So a good alternative to granite countertops could be quartz that have like more of a texture. They actually make cork into countertops now.
Okay. Do
So
you have
something-
experience with wood or concrete?
Concrete it would be a good surface as far as glare, but it stains. It's very porous,
Okay.
absorbs oils, and typically you don't seal it. A lot of times granite has to be sealed on a
Right.
basis, but quartz is probably the most common countertop that is used today. You can get it in a very matte finish so that it's not glossy. There's basically no maintenance to it whatsoever. And like, say something like the Cambria product is not locally manufactured, but it's made in the US in, I believe it's Arizona.
Do you ever recommend the laminates?
You can do laminate. It's not as popular as it once was, but as long as you've got a substrate that's not off-gassing formaldehyde, because they typically use some kind of a particle board substrate or laminate, but the laminates have come a long way. You can actually do an eased edge that it looks very, very nice. There's no hard edges. You can curve the corners and but yeah, the substrate is the key. Like, you don't want to do anything that's going to off gas, because sometimes the underside of it is exposed. So if you were to look inside the cabinet and look up, it would all be exposed wood. So you typically want to use plywood.
Okay, there's a question from Rebecca. Rebecca, you want to just go ahead and shout out your question?
Yeah, Margie, a builder told me that from the living room out to the patio, it was a pool patio, but it had some cover on it partway, and also out the front door, that the living room, I'm doing air quotes, and the living room section had to be higher than what I'm calling the ground section, either the patio level or the outside level. Do you think that's a building code issue?
I'm not familiar with the building code in Florida. However, it makes a lot of sense to not have it directly the same height as the ground because you definitely don't want water intrusion. So I would think that there would be some kind of a slope, like a very slight slope would be the code.
So on new construction, they could build that way, but on renovating somebody's home, they would have to get ramps everywhere, right?
Well, you could build the floor up slightly, depending on the renovation.
Mm,
It would, because you'd have to like do some kind of a gradual threshold so that it slopes down slightly, but I don't think it would be much of an issue even on a renovation.
okay, thanks.
Sure.
Yeah, good questions. Someone else. Good question. Thanks, Patricia. What wall colors are easiest for seniors to use?
Oh, anything that kind of is intuitively calming and relaxing, like light greens, neutral colors like beiges, light grays. I know gray is really popular right now, but sometimes I think it can get too overdone. But I like a sage green or like kind of a what is it? Edgecomb gray. It's a Benjamin Moore color. It's edgecomb gray. I think actually it's the color of the room I'm in.
Okay.
It's just a soft gray, but it's not a gray. It's more of like it's got a little warm tone to it. But anything like soothing colors, I mean, bright colors can be very cheerful, but they can be tiresome after a while, like bright yellows and oranges. You want to save those colors for the accessories like pillows and window treatments to draw contrast between the wall and the windows of the wall and the furniture. Hope that answers the question.
Okay. This next one, I think you're going to say it's personal preference, but let's take a stab at it. How many lumens are best? And I guess the implication there is for seniors. So what would you say?
That really depends on what you're trying to light. So if you're talking about under cabinet lighting, you probably want about 40 lumens per foot. So say like an incandescent bulb is like say like a 60-watt bulb is 800 lumens. That would be adequate for, say, a room, like a small room. It really depends on what you're trying to light. You want it to have adjustability. You definitely need more light as you get older, so layers of light are the way to go. Definitely general illumination or ambient light within a space, and then task lighting. So if you're reading or knitting or sewing, you want to have a light that's right on that task. But it's really dependent on what you're lighting. Under cabinet lighting is probably the most critical.
All right. Let's see. It looks like we took care of all these. Anybody else have a question? Even if you didn't put it in the box, just go ahead and shout it out. Anyone? Okay. Concluding thoughts, Margie.
There's a lot of information out there. It can be confusing and misleading, especially when it comes to lighting. I think, trying to learn the lighting technology and terminology is is kind of complicated, so keep it simple. There are a lot of lighting products now that will list the lighting facts on the label. So it'll tell you how many lumens that fixture produces. And then adjustability, like if you're doing new lighting, make sure your electrician installs a dimmer, so then you can adjust as needed. So you don't need a lot of light, you don't need a lot of light. You don't want bright light right before you go to bed at night.
Yeah. So I have a
There's lots of
question.
products.
I have a question for you then, based on everything you talked about today, flooring, window treatments, lighting, doors, hardware, cabinets, and so forth. Where should a person concentrate their funds? If they have limited monies to spend, where should they devote most of their money?
I would say on anything that's gonna keep them safe from falling. So that means lighting on stairways. I had a neighbor actually that asked me to come over and give her some help getting something out of her basement. And she had an old-fashioned fluorescent bulb in the socket on the stairs. And she said to me, okay, well, turn that light on, but wait a few minutes. It's going to take a while for it to come to full brightness.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
was like, oh my goodness. I ran over and got an LED bulb and swapped it out, and it was a game changer. She was amazed, said, that's the old-fashioned fluorescent. It took a long time to light up, but it was not safe because people weren't going to wait at the top of the stairs. So basically anything that is going to prevent falling or tripping, just better lighting, treads on stairs, things of that nature.
Okay, good answer. Thank you.
Grab bars, definitely grab bars.
Oh, all right. Okay. Anyone else? Margie, I really appreciate your taking the time to be with us today, share your insights, and join us again, everyone, for next month. Just plan on joining us. It'll be the same link as today, or you can sign up on the website and have a good time. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Steve, for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure.